Hey guys, this is Jules. Thanks for tuning in. This is Wild Orchid Crafts Design Team Challenge. We were supposed to create something with some die cuts that Natasha sent us. So this was my project that I did. There are detailed pictures over on my blog and product item links on my blog as well. The link to that post is below. I recorded myself as I was making it, so we're just going to roll right into the video. Thanks. So here are the pieces that I had. There's 3 pieces of the house, the fence, the little hearts, different hearts, little flower, zigzags. So I originally used a different paper collection, but I covered it up with some vintage blue by Glitz Design. So you're not going to see how I exactly put it on, just because. I painted some of the chipboard in a pink color, but I changed it to an olive, kind of an army green kind of color. So here you'll see some of the chipboard is already white from my previous attempt. I changed my mind a lot during projects. So what I'm going to do is after I painted it and let it dry, I'm going to run some, I'm going to run all the little pieces in my embossing ink using some UT to create like an epoxy sticker type of effect on them. So I just literally dip it all in there and dip it in the powder and set it aside so that I can use my heat gun. Now newbies, the heat guns are not hair dryers. They're not, the heat is way different. It's way more powerful, way hotter, very dangerous. So be very careful if you do get one. As you see this technique, as it happens, it's extremely hot, extremely hot. You can easily burn yourself, so be very, very careful. So here is the little door jamb thingy. So I'm going to go ahead and melt it down. And I love showing it because I just love the look of it. All shiny and looks like candy to me. Here's the fence. I ended up not holding it with the tweezers because it was getting hot. So I put it on my spiral notebook and did it on that. So this is the paper that I use. It's called Glitz. By Glitz, it's called Vintage Blue. Beautiful, beautiful design. Polka dots, florals, some solids, some subtle florals, the toile, the striped, that striped, I like that one. There's a little speckled, a damask, here's a floral, and this one with the rose, and it has some script and damask or swirls or something in the corners. So I'm just going to choose 3 different papers for the 3 pieces of the houses, and looking and see what stickers I'm going to use. I end up using that sentiment there that you see. If you hear whining and scratching, it's my dog. I apologize now for her. So here I'm just choosing the papers. I want to do something that's a little bit like off, not off, but like colors, like a couple solids that would go well on the sides, and then something with a print on it. So I went with the polka dot, the striped, and that more of a distressed blue there. So I used some cardstock from my Mariposa paper stack. The yellow went well with it, so I used it for the back side, and then the glitz paper on the other side. So I inked it with scattered straw distress ink and using my Spellbinders deckled edge oval shapes, just the second and third from the large side. Excuse my dog. So I just cut the cardstock out of the larger one, and then I cut the pictures out with the smaller one. That way it'll kind of work as a photo mat and still have the same shape. So I'm using the actual dies as a stencil because I want to create I guess the darker yellow on the paper and then have that lighter border. So it's kind of still wet, so I'm just going to dry it real quick with my heat gun. Now there are some things that you guys are not going to be able to see that I didn't record. So make sure that you check out the detailed pictures over on my blog so you can see all the little things that are on there that you can't, that you didn't see here in the video. So again, I'm just edging the little houses with the scattered straw distress ink. The color went really well. I decided I'm going to bind these together, and I knew that I was going to use some seam binding, but I went ahead and just grabbed some eyelets in the brown, and I'll show you in a minute how I use those. Here I'm using my tiny attacher for the baker's twine in the brown and white from Wild Orchid Crafts. Um, I just wanted to give it a different texture with the little staples. So I used my son, Manny, his picture going horizontal and then Anna's going vertical just to make it different. And because Manny was just, oh, he's such a sweet little boy. And he was just saying, hi, mommy. And he waved to me. And I just love that picture. Love that picture. And Anna was pointing at something she put on the tree. So I didn't get that. But um, I didn't cut her out as she was pointing. But love her smile in this picture. So I'm using some dimensional square stickers or like little mounting tape. And that way it stands up from the photo mat itself. And you can see the ink and the border from the Spellbinders die too, and I really like that. And I'm gonna set those aside for right now. That I like how that's looking so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of do a quick measure where I can have just an equal distance between 3 eyelets on the inside of the left side of the house. I'll have 3 holes punched there, and then I'll have 3 on each side of the middle house, and then 3 on the left side of the right house. You'll see in a second what I mean. And I'm using the 3/16 paper punch on my big bite there. That way the eyelets, they're 3/16, so they'll fit perfectly in there. So I'm gonna use that chocolatey brown, and it kind of goes with the brown olive greenish color that I put up on the little fence and the door jamb and the roof ledge and stuff. The additional pieces that I painted, and I did cover some of them with paper. You'll see later. So I just put those on really quick. And again, I'm using the standard size. This just means that the little rims around the holes are smaller. There's some extra large, quote unquote, that are the wide, that takes up more space, but I wanted to use a smaller one. So here's a seam binding. I'm using an antique yellow or vintage yellow. No, antique yellow. I'll have links to all the products if I can get all the links over on my blog, so you guys can just click on it and get directly to it over from to the website. So I did it like a corset type of a binding, and then put the bows, like the actual ties, on the back side of the houses because I didn't want them to take too much room and block things on the front side. I just wanted the binding to show. So that's what I did. So I'm just trying to see if the sticker will fit on this middle piece here, and that way if I needed to trim it, I would be able to trim it, but it fit perfectly in the middle part. So here the little house door, the little door is a little bit too long, so I'm going to end up trimming it later on. Charlie, stop. So what I'm doing is I'm going to just hot glue the little door rim onto the paper there. And this is why this mat works perfectly, so it doesn't stick on anything. It totally lifted off, so I like that. So I just trimmed the excess paper, and that way I can fit it where I want it. So I'm just going to trim the very bottom scallop off directly across. That way it fits perfectly on the very front on the left side there. So just some regular wet glue and then some hot glue around the chipboard piece, and then stick it down. So here's the little ledge, and I'm just going to put it up on the very top part of the middle house. I kind of decorated the house front for the middle section, and then the pictures on either side. And here I'm going to use the Deco Fan Martha Stewart punch, edge punch. I did use it for an extra strip of excess paper from when I cut out the little house on it. And stick it on the side there. Just kind of break up the blue a tiny bit. And I love the shape, and I just was dying to use this paper punch. So yeah, use it. So I'm just going to glue the very edge over. And this is how I take off excess paper, especially to make it more unified, like it's, was effortless to put there. I glue it down, and then using my emery board, I just shave it off, and it looks great. I love the finished look of it. It looks like it was supposed to be there, or like it came on that same blue paper. So I'm gonna just put some red sticky tape on the back side, and go ahead and just stick Anna down on that side. It's kind of fixing the twine a little bit since it looked a little crooked. So I had to take the binding, the seam binding off of that side to get that border punch down, but I'm gonna, there it is, I already put it back on. See how fast I was? Didn't even see it. So on all of these pieces, I cut them in three on this fence and did this dimensional um, with chipboard, just adding it in the backside so it stands out from the actual house. So all three pieces got, I did that too, so that I can stick flowers behind it and whatnot. So this is for the very center part of the house. I just got some little loose gypsophila flowers and intertwined it um, in between the little pieces there. And I had some loose, they do, Wild Orchid Crafts has these in loose flowers, like individual pieces. I forgot I had them and I was just cutting up the stems, the little sprays, and forgot about it. So I'm just putting some random roses down and stuff so that, you know, kind of arranging them, see how I want them. I added different colors too. So there's some of the brown, I added blue, added white later, little rosebuds too. So I'm going to use this little epoxy stickers that says live on the very bottom part there. And it pops really well up against that color. It looks really nice. So I'm just going to tack that down real quick. Voila. I'm going to use this one here that says gorgeous. Set that over by Anna's picture. So I'm going to grab some crocheted flowers and then put just a couple of them under her photo. And I grabbed this little blue rose to put over by the word gorgeous. Yeah, I brought those down. I'm just going to glue this one down. And then I end up grabbing some more of the very small rose leaves in the green, and I did tuck a couple behind the crocheted flowers, but I was out of frame and you didn't see it, so I apologize that I was out of frame. I did trim it a little bit down because I already glued them down and there was no room to tuck the little edge, so that way it looks like it's tucked under. So I'm just, I'm about to adhere Manny's picture down. Here's my baby. He was about 6, 7 years old here. He's so sweet. He was saying, "Hi, mommy," and he waved at me. He's almost 22 now and about to graduate from college. So proud of my son. Banana, too. She's, oh God, I was seriously blessed with these two. So I have some of the chipboard pieces, the hearts here that I ended up covering with paper and the little flower as well. You see the green there. I did do the little UT effect on that, but I changed my mind. I just changed my mind. So I'm just cutting out the paper and then shaving off the excess as I do, and I'll tack those down in a second. So what I want to do for the little fence that's over on Manny's side, and you guys will notice there's a little piece of lace over there on his side on the left. I thought I was recording that, but I guess I didn't. Anyways, I did just put some greenery of these loose ivy leaves that I had in just my stash. So I just wanted to, again, to add the greenery to the back side of the fence, and then just add some of the flowers. And I didn't want to cover it a lot, so I did just add them kind of just growing off to the left and the bottom. And there's a few that's sitting on the center part. So again, here's some new flowers. I was going to say something else, but here's some of the new flowers with the blue centers. I did end up using a couple of these on this project. Love these tiny ones. I added little tiny rosebuds too. You can see there's a second one there. You didn't see me put the first one down, but there's a second one there. And on the little blue flower, the chipboard piece, I added this little pearl, and I'm going to glue that down on the very tip top of that ledge there. And I added some more of the pearls in the blue along the scallop edges of the roof ledge. Looked great to me. I really liked it. So for the little heart that's over by Manny, I went ahead and grabbed the word adore that is in the smaller letters and just stuck that down on the paper and then, or on the heart, glued it down by him over there. And yeah, I was trying to use all of the chipboard pieces. Um, I didn't, I think the only thing that I didn't use was the other half of the zigzag. So here's the little 2 rosebuds that I glued over there by the door, by the blue one. And on Anna's side, I am going to go ahead and I just cut down the fence a little bit so it's not too big. And I did again with the dimensionals on the back side already. So I'm going to add some more of the extra small rose leaves. Those 3 there on the corner. And then on the berries, I just cut off the bottom and then rearranged it and kind of bundled them up a little bit more. And then I'll glue that down. So there it goes down. And then I cut the bottoms off because they were sticking out. And then I just glued it down so it'll just stay down really good. So now some more flowers again. Again, I did some of the vintage blue, the two-tone blue, the two-tone yellow. I think I did a sepia brown somewhere in there, but I'll skip ahead right now and we'll see what I did because I don't remember what I put on what color flowers I put on it. There's a lot of little roses on here, and of course I wanted to stay with the shabby chic theme, but using a different color palette, and I think I achieved that in my eyes, anyways. Here's some more lilies, and again, I'm gonna do just a couple on this side because I want to hide the chipboard from the fence that I cut. So I did add a couple of the lilies on this edge, and then I'm gonna add another little white one here. I end up adding a tiny rosebud later. So on like this little stand here, what I did is just use some wet glue and then glued it down into the paper that I'm using and then let that dry, cut it out. For a cleaner cut, I use my emery board too. And then inking it again with the scattered straw distress ink, all on all 3 of them, 3 of the triangles. And then here I'm just gonna see how I want it. And I didn't want it to lean back. I wanted it to sit up, but I wanted the support so it doesn't fall. So I'm using the straight side to go up against the thing there, the house. So I just line it up, the bottom of the triangle to the bottom of the house, center it in the very center, and pencil that in. That way I know where these little guys are going to stand as I glue them down. So just some hot glue on the seam, and then I use my hot glue gun helper crayon tool and flatten it out, and that's it. I really love this tool. Love the look. Nice and clean. It's not chunky. Love that. So I'm going to test it out and see if it's holding up, and it does. So again, there's a lot of little details here. I did some crackle accents, glossy accents on different stuff. I added butterflies that you don't see here. I did some filler flowers of lilies and some more roses and rosebuds and stuff. So yeah, head over to my blog for all the little detail pictures, okay? So on Pinterest, I have a little Jules do list, and I wanted to make these, and I did. I made a little pom-pom with baker's twine. It's really cute. So I use this as a wreath kind of a thing on the very front of the middle house part. So it's cute. I like it. So here's my finished project, you guys. Please make sure to go to Wild Orchid Crafts YouTube channel and check out what everyone else made with their pieces, and details over on my blog. Link is below. Jules signing out of the Jewel Box for Wild Orchid Crafts. Thanks, guys.